Minamoto no Yoshitsune, known to history as the Ghost Samurai, was the most brilliant military tactician medieval Japan ever produced. Swift, fearless, and utterly unstoppable in battle, he won impossible victories against overwhelming odds and single-handedly transformed his clan from fugitives into rulers of an empire. Yet for all his genius, Yoshitsune would discover that in the brutal world of samurai politics, military perfection could be more dangerous than any enemy sword. This is the story of a warrior who saved his family's honor only to be destroyed by the very brother he made shogun. Born in 1159 into the illustrious Minamoto clan, Yoshitsune entered a world already torn apart by civil war. The Heiji rebellion had just ended in catastrophic defeat for the Minamoto, with Yoshitsune's father Yoritomo dead and the entire clan branded as traitors to the imperial court. While most noble children learned poetry and court etiquette, infant Yoshitsune learned survival as a hunted fugitive. His mother, Tokiwa, one of the most beautiful women in Japan, was forced to become the concubine of Taira no Kiyomori, the very man who had destroyed her husband. Yoshitsune grew up knowing that his family's enemies ruled Japan, while his clan's survivors lived in exile or hiding. At age 7, Yoshitsune was sent to Kurama Temple, ostensibly to become a monk but actually for his own protection. The mountain monastery provided sanctuary from Taira vengeance, but it also became an unlikely military academy. While other boys studied Buddhist sutras, Yoshitsune secretly trained with warrior monks who remembered the old ways of warfare. He learned not just swordsmanship, but something far more valuable, the art of unconventional tactics that could overcome superior numbers. The temple's isolation from court politics allowed Yoshitsune to develop a purely meritocratic view of warfare, where results mattered more than rank or tradition. His education took an even more dramatic turn when he encountered the legendary figure known as Sojobo, the king of the Tengu. Whether Sojobo was a real hermit warrior or a mythical creature, the training Yoshitsune received was transformative. He mastered forms of combat unknown in formal samurai culture: stealth attacks, rapid movement across impossible terrain, and psychological warfare designed to break enemy morale before battle was even joined. Contemporary accounts describe Yoshitsune moving like a ghost across mountainous landscapes, appearing and disappearing at will. These skills would later earn him his nickname and make him the most feared warrior in Japan. The defining moment of Yoshitsune's youth came in 1174, when he learned that his half-brother Yoritomo had raised the Minamoto banner in rebellion against Taira rule. For 15 years, Yoshitsune had prepared for this moment, knowing that someday the chance for revenge would come. At just 15 years old, he abandoned his monastery sanctuary and made the dangerous journey to join Yoritomo's forces. The reunion between the brothers was emotional but complex. Yoritomo saw political potential in his charismatic younger brother, while Yoshitsune saw the chance to prove that the Minamoto were still the greatest warriors in Japan. The Genpei War that followed would become the most celebrated conflict in Japanese history, and Yoshitsune would emerge as its undisputed tactical genius. His first major victory came at the Battle of Ichi-no-Tani in 1184, where he accomplished something military experts had deemed impossible. The Taira forces were positioned in a fortress believed to be impregnable, protected by steep cliffs and rough seas. Conventional wisdom suggested a long siege or costly frontal assault. Yoshitsune chose a third option that revealed his revolutionary approach to warfare. Leading a small force of elite cavalry, Yoshitsune descended the supposedly impassable Hyodori-go cliff face in a dawn attack that caught the Taira completely off guard. The psychological impact was devastating. Enemies who had never imagined cavalry could attack from that direction broke and fled, rather than face warriors who seemed to defy the laws of nature. The victory at Ichi-no-Tani established Yoshitsune as the most innovative tactician of his generation, but it also marked the beginning of tensions with his brother. Yoritomo, focused on building political legitimacy and stable governance, grew increasingly uncomfortable with Yoshitsune's unorthodox methods and growing reputation. While Yoritomo courted court approval and followed established protocols, Yoshitsune won battles through tactics that traditionalists found disturbing. His use of warrior monks, his willingness to attack from unexpected directions, and his habit of inspiring fanatical loyalty among common soldiers all violated samurai conventions about proper warfare. The climax of Yoshitsune's military career came at the naval battle of Dan-no-ura in 1185, where he faced the final Taira fleet in a confrontation that would determine Japan's future. Naval warfare was traditionally the Taira's strength, and they commanded experienced sailors fighting in familiar waters. Yoshitsune, with no naval background whatsoever, should have been hopelessly outmatched. Instead, he revolutionized medieval Japanese naval tactics through pure tactical innovation. Rather than engaging in traditional ship-to-ship combat, Yoshitsune ordered his archers to target the enemy helmsmen and rowers, crippling Taira mobility before attempting to board their vessels. This violation of established naval protocols shocked both sides, but its effectiveness was undeniable. The Taira fleet, unable to maneuver effectively, was systematically destroyed. The battle ended with the death of the child emperor Antoku and the complete annihilation of Taira power. Yoshitsune had won the war for his brother, but his methods had made him as many enemies as friends. Yoritomo's response to total victory revealed the fundamental incompatibility between the brothers. Rather than celebrating Yoshitsune's genius, the new shogun grew increasingly suspicious of a brother whose popularity threatened his own authority. Court nobles who had opposed the Minamoto began whispering that Yoshitsune's tactical innovations made him dangerous to any established order. His ability to inspire loyalty among common soldiers, his willingness to ignore traditional protocols, and his evident military superiority over all rivals made him a potential threat to the very regime he had created. The break came when Yoshitsune accepted court rank from the emperor without Yoritomo's permission, a political misstep that provided the pretext for action the shogun had long contemplated. In 1185, just months after his greatest victory, Yoshitsune found himself declared an outlaw by the very brother he had made ruler of Japan. The genius who had won an empire was now hunted across the islands he had helped conquer. Yoshitsune's final years were marked by the same tactical brilliance that had made him legendary, now applied to the hopeless task of surviving his brother's relentless pursuit. For 4 years, he evaded capture through a combination of loyal allies, tactical deception, and the guerrilla warfare skills learned in his monastery youth. His ability to disappear and reappear at will earned him the Ghost Samurai title, but even ghosts could not evade destiny indefinitely. The end came in 1189 at Koromogawa, where Yoshitsune's final protector, Fujiwara no Yasuhira, betrayed him to curry favor with Yoritomo. Surrounded and facing certain capture, Yoshitsune chose the honorable death that samurai tradition demanded. He committed seppuku rather than submit to his brother's justice, dying at age 30 with his military genius undefeated, but his political naivety finally exposed. The tragedy of Yoshitsune lies not in his death, but in the fundamental contradiction of his existence. He was the perfect warrior serving in an imperfect political system, a tactical innovator whose very brilliance made him too dangerous to survive. His military methods were centuries ahead of their time, but his understanding of power politics remained fatally naive. He believed that loyalty and victory should guarantee honor and reward, never grasping that exceptional ability often breeds suspicion rather than gratitude. Modern Japan remembers Yoshitsune as the greatest of all samurai, the warrior whose tactical genius created the Kamakura shogunate even as his political innocence destroyed him. His story became the template for Japanese tragic heroism, the brilliant individual whose very perfection makes him incompatible with an imperfect world. He was the ghost samurai, and his legacy haunts Japanese culture with the question of whether true excellence can ever coexist with practical politics. What strikes you most about Yoshitsune's story? His tactical brilliance or his political blindness? Could a military genius like him succeed in today's world? Or would the same dynamics destroy him? Share your thoughts below. And if this tale of medieval Japan's greatest warrior impressed you, subscribe for more stories of samurai who changed history through sword and strategy.